I actually won that show. It was the Carolina Clash, and I'll tell you exactly why I won.
Okay.
I was the only guy in my weight class. Regardless, when people ask me what happened in one of my class.
Point to the sky with the one up, I'm blessed. I'm young, rich, and black, so you know I'm a threat.
What's up, everybody? Sean Torbati here with one of my best friends in the world, Marc the Machine Lobliner.
What's up? You forgot IFBB Pro.
Newly minted IFBB Pro. You're like a new NFT.
You know what? I'm like the old new. I'm like the old young guy or the young old guy. I'm getting into the game when everybody else retires.
You can't even get into the gym for free.
Oh no, Equinox is like, nah.
Marc is the newest participant in my show. 3 questions. I make the rules. I change them as I go. But I have 3 questions for you today. The point is so that the audience can get to know you a little bit better. That people who are watching who might have known you for a long time like me, or they might just be learning about you with your new IFBB Pro status, and they can get to know you a little bit better with 3 questions that you probably have not thought of yourself that I will be asking. Marc doesn't know the questions. My participants never know the questions till I ask them, but let's get started. First of all, as I introduced you, you are Marc the Machine Lobliner.
Yes.
How did you get the nickname The Machine?
Oh, that's a good question. And it's really not because of training at all. I think it was 2007. I was getting ready for my first bodybuilding show, and I had a newborn or nearly newborn baby. And so a guy who worked with me, his name was Derek Charlie Boy. Now I was literally traveling 300 days a year, trying to, at that time, remember Extend?
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys didn't know, I actually popularized the intra-workout category with Extend, the first real big BCAA, which has since sold to Cellucor or Nutribulk. So long story short, I was doing all this traveling, had the newborn at home, and running businesses. And one day, Derek was just like, this is nuts, man. You're like a machine. That was it. So it's not like because I had a good body, because really, if you saw how I looked when I started competing,
Yeah.
it wasn't good. It was actually kind of embarrassing. So, and a tangent, actually, when I was getting ready, I actually won that show. It was the Carolina Clash, and I'll tell you exactly why I won.
Okay.
I was the only guy in my weight class.
101.
And yeah, so
You got the sympathy victory trophy.
Regardless, when people ask me what happened in one of my class, I
Yeah.
never said there was no one in there. So yeah, it wasn't because I have a great physique or I'm a nice guy. It was because, yeah, it's because I just worked. I worked really hard and I didn't sleep at the time.
That famous work ethic that has paved the way for a lot of stuff, including the businesses that we do together.
Which are amazing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty damn cool. All right, so I know it's not what you were dubbed the Machine for, but having trained with you hundreds of times over the last decade, I can say that your training intensity is machine-like as well. And with that, my second question for you is, what is the hardest workout you can ever remember doing? And there might be a bunch, but what's one that comes to mind?
Man, you know what? Remember when we did the 100 rep dumbbell challenge?
Yep.
That was the hardest chest workout I've ever done because it was challenging because you guys were there doing yours, which was scaled down a little bit because that workout was meant to scale.
Yeah. By you guys, he means me and Van Bra.
And Van Bra.
Yeah.
And then you had Mike, who's Mike. And Mike, even though he might not be the biggest guy in the room, a lot of times, like he could train a big boy and all these guys, Mike will usually be one of the strongest guys.
Yeah.
So it was very intimidating because Mike comes in and you've seen these videos of Mike with, at that time he was overtraining Mike. Like, and then he's boxing Mike and now he's just squatting Mike, you know? But regardless of what Mike does, like between CT's workouts, like this is when we first started doing stuff together.
Yeah.
So
this is pre-Ambrosia.
So intimidating.
Yeah.
Because Mike's the guy who's literally doing these crazy CrossFit-like deadlift workouts,
Yep.
and then doing Iron Wars with CT, and that was extremely hard. And the other workouts that are honorable mentions that could have been harder, Kai Green, his training intensity and his volume are ridiculous. Dana Lynn Bailey. Dana Lynn Bailey literally supersets everything, and it's like a 3-hour workout.
Yeah.
That was extremely tough. I mean, I've trained a lot. I've trained with Dorian Yates, right past his prime. Not in his prime, but when he was still going heavy. But those 3 workouts were the ones that are most memorable. They could have been harder.
Yeah.
There's a lot of workouts I put myself through that I've been sore for 2 weeks that could have been harder, but as far as memorable,
Yeah.
those are the memorable
I mean,
ones.
you remember things with your homies, with your partners, with friends. Like,
Yeah.
You remember those too. And the fact that we all went through that together.
That was cool.
And all finished at different times and with different weights, but still we went through that pain together. That was like a bonding moment for real. And just so people know a little context, it was 100-pound dumbbells, and in my case, it was like 70s or 75s or something like that. We'll pull the video. Yeah, it was 15-pound dumbbells.
They're so dope.
Actually, they're 17 and a half. We'll pull up a clip of it here and show you. But it was 100-pound dumbbells or scaled to what you thought you could do for 100 reps as fast as you could do them. So you could do all 100 reps, but of course, no one's doing that. You do as many as you can, take a breather, go again. But you do it till you're done, and you don't stop till you finish. No matter if it takes 10 minutes or 30 minutes, you finish.
So the cheat code to that, which I found out by training on my own and doing this multiple times, do 10 sets of 10. Because your body has a chance to replete. When you do as many as you can that first set, you never fully recover.
Yeah.
You do 10 of 10, you'll probably beat your time going as many reps as possible. Heads up, I did that in a deadlift challenge later on with Chris Gethin and a couple other guys, Steve Shaw and I forgot the other guy's name, but it was bodybuilders versus powerlifters. That was, and believe it or not, the deadlift challenge wasn't as hard as the dumbbell bench.
That shit was hard, but we got through it.
Because I think it was because I was so at the time, and I still am, like training with Mike is intimidating. I don't think people understand. And then people always ask when I got into boxing, you ever spar Mike? I'm like, no, I like living.
Yeah.
I've literally seen the man hit a heavy bag and the heavy bag cried.
Yeah.
Like,
No joke.
Yeah.
The power in that fist is
iron
not something you
fist.
want to experience unless
No.
if you're getting paid for it.
oh, there's a
Yeah.
price
I'm not doing
for
that for
everything.
fun.
No, I'm
Yeah.
doing that for a couple mil.
So, question number 3, one that's off the wall. What is your biggest regret in business and your professional life and your career?
Biggest regret. I think my biggest regret in life is not appreciating life. Is you get so caught up. And I think I can't speak for you, but I think people with our mentality are always going to be guilty of this. Is we get so caught up focusing on the goal of whether it's growing business or I never got caught up in the goal of being a pro bodybuilder. For me, that was always, I was so focused on growing business and so passionate about the mission. Like a lot of people don't understand, like, you know, I got into health and fitness and I got into the supplement industry because my parents were unhealthy, because I grew up around type 2 diabetes and drug use. So I really wanted to get away from that. So for me, I started this business. And then when you start a business, you have a family, your goal should focus on, okay, this is my main focus. These are my goals, my objectives. My mission statement doesn't change. But my main goal as a man right now is to provide. And providing doesn't just mean financially, it means emotionally, it means spiritually, it means in so many different ways. But I was so caught up on the business that I missed a lot of things. And even the things I was there for, I didn't truly enjoy. And I don't know if I could change that because my business wouldn't be where it's at right now if I didn't do that. However, at 40 years old, 41 now, you're mature and you understand. And I don't think in my 20s and 30s, I fully understood how my life was going and how blessed I was to be where I was at. And all I was focusing on is it's not good enough, it's not good enough, it's not good enough. And I was there as a dad, but there's certain things I just wish I would have lived in the moment. But I have no regrets about business decisions. I made bad business decisions. But they were good because they led to where I'm at.
They were part of the journey.
All of your failures led to a learning experience. Like, what is it Michael Jordan says? Like, I've missed blank amount of shots. He had like a number. He's like, but I made the ones that count. You know, I made the championship shots. I'm paraphrasing it. But you've never met a business person. You've never met a rich person who never lost money. I was listening to Rich Dad, Poor Dad on the way to the airport when I left the other day. And he was talking about, he's like, he's never met a rich person who never lost money. And you've never met a successful person who's not made mistakes. But the thing is, now that I'm 41, I have an 8-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 16-year-old. And I still work. But every moment counts. So what I say to these guys who are entrepreneurs who are building empires, who are building businesses, is build your business. And you're going to sacrifice time with your family, with your spouse. Like, you come home late all the time. But when you're with them, cherish it, absorb it. And like my daughter, she won the state championship in soccer. So my daughter, Cammie, she kicks the game-winning goal in the district championship. 20 seconds left, double overtime, about to go to PKs. And I ran out on the field, and she's literally getting interviewed by all the local newspapers and stuff. And I'm like, this is great. I pulled her aside and I said, you might never have this moment again in your life where you have the game-winning goal. I've never had that, where you get dogpiled by your teammates. I said, just enjoy the moment. Don't think ahead to the next game. Don't think ahead to state. Live in the moment. So I think the biggest regret I have is I didn't live in the moment enough, and I regret that. I do 100%. But again, like, you can't change it, so you just have to move forward.
Well, you know, I've told you this before privately, and I may have expressed it in person on video as well, but you've been someone that I've kind of looked to as having been doing it longer than me. You know, obviously your career started before mine. I've been able to have the luxury of being able to watch and learn from you and apply those things and hopefully taking some shortcuts of my own to get where I want to get faster. And obviously we are partners as well in certain businesses, and we've been around the world, you know, doing different events and tours, and we've grinded it out, like built business together. But I've also had, I'll call it a luxury of being able to learn from you as well as work with you. And I'll take this lesson to heart too, and I know a lot of people will. I appreciate the time and answering these questions, as always. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. IFBB Pro.
That's how I like to be addressed now.
We appreciate you on here, and of course you can check out Marc's channel. I'll link it below, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.
Point to the sky with the one up, I'm blessed. I'm young, rich, and black, so you know I'm a threat.